Hello and welcome, and it is that of the 23rd day of May 2018. Crypto day. Crypto days are falling today. Price below 7,500 on Bitcoin. Presently, May 23rd, little before or decently before 2 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, so this was not a surprise. We've seen it come up to this 18 average like such. We break a level of key support, and you have a decent red size move to the downside, pretty much at the area of the must hold. And I really don't know what to expect from here. I really don't. If I were to have to guess, I would guess that the market is not going to get above this next little high before it goes significantly lower. And if you're talking about removing your stop loss, and I'm not playing this, it might be a little tight or a little aggressive, rather the opposite of tight, to keep your stop above the 86 high, maybe somewhere up around here. But generally speaking, if you're shorting, you can take profits now. I'm 5% short. I am not selling any of my other tethers. It's not short, but it practically is. And I'm not selling any right now. Not until the price comes down to where it came from, or of course the key Litecoin number, which is under $90. I'm really wishing I was like 20 or 25% short, or 50 or 100% short, but what are you going to do based on what happens? The market's, of course, doing what it's supposed to, and that's moving. On the 15-minute time frame, this is when it happened. High volume at 11:15. Let's take a look at this on the Coinbase with its volume. Same thing here. High volume as well. I would guess this is an across a board kind of sell. And when I say across the board, that means they're selling the big groups, big institutions, however you want to look at it as, on multiple different spots. But it happened at 11:15 a.m. Eastern Time. It is really crushed well below the 18. You had a little bit of time gap of congesting the 7,600 price for about an hour or so. It was not enough for the price to correct through time. It most certainly didn't rally enough to do so through price, and is having yet another wave within such that the hourly time frame, it's now having that big move lower. It has had no price above the 18 average of highs yet during this decline. So volatility short term has really sparked up within this market, and the area wide let's just take a look at quick Fibonacci here for a second. We're looking at 6,499 change, and 76 and change, and 72 and change are those levels. 76 and change representing 61.8% down. And then the next one below that, 72 and change, is 23.6. This is generally, again, that must area where I want to see that it holds, because if I see weakness, or there's going to be another leg lower from here, yes, I'll talk about this range as 6,000 to 6,500 area as what would be a third hit or second retest of this level. I don't like odds of second retests, although they've been successful before. But I realize, because the big lows, or big lows is in higher than previous ones, or big long-term levels rather, of like under $200 from several years ago, and this high, the 6,000 is 23.6% down, and 38.2% down is barely over 3,000. So we'll say 3,000 even. That's still a significant volatile move. But within crypto action, it's all about profiting the best you can on the volatility. I'm going to move on to altcoins and Zen. It's only down 0.14% against Bitcoin. It shouldn't be down right now against Bitcoin because it did well last night. This is the daily chart. Ooh. It's where it was last night when it closed. It got well above this line. And this is a major level of resistance that it just came back to. The volume on this daily time frame, let's get the data so we can read it. There was 500,000 traded compared to 58,000 the day before. So 10x in volume. Oops. And it was getting big, even big before then. But it's the spot where you're able to sell all the way up here. Even if you got, if you sold them all like 485, you still can at least buy back now and be guaranteed to get back like a 17, 18% move. And that might not be a great sale in the sense maybe it'll go back down here. But heck, maybe it does go back down there, and then when it goes back higher, you're going to sell again. But any of these areas in which you can sell at, the buybacks are in place. And 15-minute time frame, there's the entire rally being rejected. Sometimes I wish I didn't trade, in time, that is. I mean, when I was doing a video last night saying, holy crap, this thing was going up, I'm glad I did because I was able to sell. But what I mean by that is, oh, do you regret buying? I stopped here, I sold again up here, and then I bought a whole bunch of times. I'm due to buy again. I probably should soon. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a buy order in. First, I'm going to calculate where I'm going to buy, because it's coming soon. And then I'm going to put the order in. We got a low here. The low is 4290. So that's what I'll enter into my calculator, 4290. Then we have this high in at 5, basically 504, 5045. Now the downside target from here certainly hit 2 levels. But for one level down on 5045, I'm looking at the 388 handle, and I want to do a pierce below, so probably like closer to 380 to 382 is what I'll be thinking. Let's see how this looks on the screen. Let's do better, or I'm going to even go 378, I think. 375. Hair above 375. And I have now just put that buy order in accordingly. But that's giving back the gains. Anytime you see the volatility, I talk about the buy low, sell high strategies. You don't need to care the news for why something's happening, for it does not matter. What matters is how the mathematics work. What matters is how many of them you buy and sell and whereabouts you are doing. It matters having alerts come in when they are very critical and all those types of things. Because in situations here, oh, like last night, oh, Zen's up huge, so you sell. Oh, Zen's now down huge. Now you can buy them back, basically. So we've seen Bitcoin down a lot. The volatility with Zen The price decline that is being shown thus far for Bitcoin is about 5.75% right now at the 75.30 handle. All coins that I'm going to be showing are priced in Bitcoin. So that means these are ones that are down more than the almost 6%. I'm going to show you my watch list now. And they're currently sorted in chronological order, and basically all you're seeing is red. I mean, there's a few greens, but that's really, if I didn't have stuff like gold on here, which is trying to become positive or negative now, or the gold to silver ratio, and oh, we got the dollar index, that's green. Well, Civic, congratulations, up 5.7%. Cannabis, and remember, Civic's up 5.7%, which means it's pretty much even against the dollar. Cannabis is up 0.4%. Don't know if you can see all the numbers. Now you can. Although, let's just go like this a little bit. But all of these are down. We got, what else is up? Litecoin against Ethereum. That means it's up 3.5%. So Ethereum's losing a little bit worse than Litecoin is. But Litecoin's down against Bitcoin. You got Nexus, basically same thing. It's losing it's down 5% against the dollar. So everything is pretty much down like double digits or worse. Here you got TUSD. Now, interestingly, it's up 8.89%. And I say such because some of these were artificial moves based on Binance, I guess, getting on the exchange and whatnot. But of course, now this is going higher because Bitcoin is falling. 15-minute time frame, there we can see it. Now, what I'm interested to see here now is TUSD against the Tether. And the reason why I'm interested to see is because of the people wanting to get out of Bitcoin because it's going down, thus people buying this, and natural buyers will mean that this will go up higher than it should, which thus will mean it will go up against the Tether. And the answer to that is no. But okay, anyway, let's move on. If we sort this by percentage move, so we have Civic. It's like the only winner of the day. And it's in a very bearish situation right now, still resisting this 18 average of lows, newly declining for, well, on to day 4 of such. And declining pretty good right now while it's establishing this level of support. Pretty big at around 3,700. Monero. Again, it broke down support big yesterday. It's still got a ways to go to come back to where it came from at around the 235 handle and the Fibonacci number in at 244. Gold, I did this on the 4-minute morning. It had a wild move down. It's doing it on the way up again. This is just crazy. This is just crazy. Look at this 15-minute chart. And it went down again and back up again. Oh my goodness, it's just crazy. Some of the moves, you talk about buy low, sell high, especially if you can do this via margin or on a 2 or 3x type fund. And this is XDN, just a random one, and well, it's doing okay, but a lot of them are getting down. Let's just take a look at the losers. Siren, breaking down key support. Ardor. Now, it did have a move. This is just the fact that if the red candle is kind of deceiving. It just happened to start the day at the upper end of this range, but it did break well below this support after leaving such. This could be a spot where you're like, you know what, we're going down to 3,070-ish or 31. Here's Litecoin against the dollar now at 117. I got buy orders like here. That's where I'm looking to get in. A pierce below 93. And I look at these moves, especially if I'm buying against the tether. I notice on places like Poloniex, Bittrex, and Bitfinance and all those places that you can sometimes, when the things get action big time to the downside, get pretty good prices on there. Let's just take a look to see what you prices on, say, one of the exchanges for Litecoin. It's 117 here. And let's go Bittrex. So it's at the same right now. So the thing about these codes, whether you take the tether or the US or the true US dollar, there's a lot being stated that they're really risky. And maybe at some point they will become problematic to own. But up until this point, anytime you've wanted to use that vehicle to buy and sell cryptocurrencies at the US fiat currency price, it has worked. So far, every single time, there's been situations maybe in which you might get the short end or a good end of the stick, where maybe, say, like I was mentioning, say, for example, this thing has a big screech move down to, say, 98. And you're looking to, whatever, say if you're looking to sell at 98, you're selling at like 96.50 or 97. I mean, that's the only small things that might happen. But other than that, they have worked along the way. And when you look at the Litecoin against the dollar, you got move like this. And then lower Hyatt down in here. Spend more time within this area. Then you go up like this, and down it goes again. It's not far from this line as it is. It's pretty much at that area now. And when I decided on the buy, this is the chart from the Bitfinex. I looked at the numbers and I seen, okay, first you got this previous support level. Then you got even number 100, and I threw that number off instantly. That's a pierce above 93. That's barely a move below here. That's like a if it bottoms 100, that's where technical analysis says that should be a failed breakdown bottom. So then you got 93, which is an okay size leg from here. But markets usually pierce extra. So the way I look at it is buying at around 88 seems like the most perfect spot. So that's where I got a Litecoin buy order in. I wish I would have deposited more Litecoin in for the sale. Oh well. Markets are going to do what they're going to do. And part of the strategy is, I've talked about extra bytes, XBY, how I'm looking to buy it. And I've been thinking, well, I'm going to be buying it if this breakdown happens. But what's going to happen if we have a decent size market move like we're seeing, where they all go down and these levels come into place? What's going to happen with XBY? It's probably going to be lower. So why not? So what I did is I did two things. One, I sold some XBY, just a few thousand of them, at the price point of 650 Satoshi-ish, I think. 660, 670, somewhere in there. Yeah, 670 sounds right to 690. I got it on the page. I can see those numbers anyway. Then what I did was I took that Bitcoin and I sold it on, or I bought Tether with it. So that when the prices go lower, I'll take Tether into Bitcoin and then Bitcoin into XBY. And that would essentially mean I get even a cheaper price, because if XBY is going to most likely be below 500 then that means I'll get it for like 20% more based on the first trade as well. Plus I deposited some Litecoin that I plan on selling for Bitcoin, because I'm going to be using some Litecoin to buy that of XBY. So I went Litecoin to the exchange, to the Tether, waiting for it to go lower, buying that of Bitcoin, and then it would be then buying that of XBY later on. That's how that was planned. Another Litecoin sale I made for the intention of getting the Litecoin back. I'm going to just deposit them back into my wallet when I'm done. And then some other Bitcoin and Litecoin trades on another exchange as well. So I got 3 different exchanges, or 4. I think 3 or 4 exchanges where three exchanges where I'm shorting or playing the tether. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great... Yeah, one of them is because I talked about Bit Finance. One of them was that. So I'm like, I was just wanting to build another buy low, sell high there. So I thought I just sold everything back a few little while ago, and then bought the tether, and I'll just do it later on. But I've also deposited Litecoin and Bitcoin in there for trades. So I'll actually have a pretty decent size bankroll on there if, of course, the price objections come into place. All right, then. I hope everyone is doing well and managing this down move well. If you're hodling, well, this is what you're hodling for, because you know these moves are going to come into place. But when you look at markets, if you are a victim of buying these markets as they're going up again, all you can pretty much do is chalk it up to experience, and then just understanding how situations play. It's if you always wait for green moves up, just look back at historical charts and see what happens. How often waiting is the better part of the game, because I didn't want to do that. Okay. Because when the markets look like this, oftentimes you're going to get corrections. Now, of course, keyword is oftentimes, because in this one, in here when it went up, you had the correction. But think of it this way. When it went all the way up to 31, this is a case in point. We're buying up here was the rare situation, because it was at like $4 and change before, to go up like 6-7 times like that, and then to be just the most magnificent stellar buy you could ever see. This is a rare situation. If you look back at this type of pattern, that you're going to see something like this come into place. PivX, it will show that rare situation as well. Dash had that situation occur last year, but more times than not, when you get these big moves, you are at least going to get a price point correction lower, or enough sideways movement where you can find a good bullish setup near the price later on. Okay, that will do it. I'm just going to quickly take a quick look at Bitcoin to see 7,500 just breaking below. So 15-minute time frame, there's still yet nothing to stop this. But the markets are going to go up, they're going to go down, they're going to do its thing. It's pretty safe to predict that before year's end, there's going to be several beautiful rallies. Amazing ones. And there's also going to be many more harsh sell-offs along the way. If you're in the business of crypto trading, this is the types of events you need to expect to be able to handle, find out how you're going to be able to profit from, and so forth. After all, you don't go into UFC and mixed martial arts if you don't want your face punched in. If you want to become a National Football League quarterback, you are risking concussions whenever you're on the field. If you're fighting fires as a firefighter, a police officer, you have risks associated with that position. Now, these risks are your financial risk and numbers. but you know they exist and they happen quite frequently. And of course, they happen on both sides. For this move we see in here is a loss of 8,000. Well, I got the percentage right here, 6.39%. The market is close to losing 2/3 its value again, or it's close again to being down 67%. And I've been in cryptos now for about 15 months, with Bitcoin prices up 650% from that point. And they were pretty high back then in comparison to where they were when you look at $900 Bitcoin versus like $200 Bitcoin. And I remember seeing Bitcoin all the way up to $10 and $20 and $50. We're in very, very volatile times. And within the volatile times, our recent movement we've been having is still very weak in comparison to what has been done in the past and what is definitely most probable to move on in the future. This thing only can go next in two directions. It can go sideways while it waits within those two moves. But it's either got to destroy this low, the support level in the 6,000s. And of course, I mentioned that price target is half off again. Or this thing has got to end this long correction, which is now close to 1/2 of a year in place. And when it does such on that end, we're going to have the bullish market environment in place. There's going to be up moves, there's going to be down moves. Thank you for tuning in and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.